That's all coming up. And today we are chatting to a 17-year-old from Bristol who has created his own mental health podcast for young people. It's called Unboxed.
So here we go again on a brand new journey. Unboxed, a mental health podcast for young people. Welcome to Series 2.
Unboxed.
With Finley Ratnett.
Finley Ratnett.
I think this is absolutely incredible. I mean, podcasts have seen a massive surge in popularity with so many forming throughout numerous worldwide lockdowns that we faced throughout the last few years. And with people forced inside in their own, many turns to podcasts to sort of help them out, get in touch and sort of look at their own mental health. Unboxed is a podcast that has been formed by a 17-year-old from Bristol. His name is Finley Ratnett, and it outlines the importance of mental health. Our very own Darcy Kelly caught up with him.
So Unboxed is a mental health podcast for young people hosted by myself. And I cover topics that young people might sort of experience some difficulties with. That's, you know, things like living at home or exams and things like body image as well. And I suppose the aim of it is to encourage young people to have these conversations with friends and family about their well-being, and to encourage them to reach out when they are struggling.
And it's so important, isn't it? Especially for teenagers and people your age who have that kind of support network, and I guess have something to listen to that people can relate to and know that kind of everyone's going through it. No one's ever on their own. Why is that important to you?
Yeah, so there's a few podcasts out there that are done by sort of older people, and so I thought it would be a nice idea to have a young person like myself doing this, just so they feel that they're not alone. They might be able to relate to something that I'm talking about and hopefully take away some advice or something else from it.
What was the drive for you to make this podcast? Was there a reason behind it? Was there something that you thought, yep, I need to do it and this is why? Or is it just like an idea that kind of came out of the blue?
Well, I've had my own sort of experiences with sort of mental health problems going from sort of year 6 to year 7. That's where it started, that transition during those summer holidays. And then throughout school, I had sort of various, you know, things that sort of popped up that impacted my well-being and mental health. And, you know, going through that, and then obviously the lockdown, and, you know, everyone was sort of at home and didn't really have anyone to talk to. You know, counselling sessions, a lot of these were cancelled. And I thought, well, you know, podcasts are becoming the new sort of form of media. And lots of young people listen to them, so they're an ideal platform to talk about this on.
And has listening to podcasts ever helped you in the past?
Yeah, I've listened to well-being podcasts in the past, and, you know, you can get different things from them. Some people might, you know, just learn more about mental health itself, and some people might take advice from it.
And has your podcast, Unboxed, has it helped anyone yet? Have you heard any good reviews from it?
Yeah, I've had a few people from, you know, people I've known from school who've messaged me and said they've listened, and, you know, when I get that sort of feedback, it makes me feel happy, and it makes me feel like I'm doing the job that I'm getting what I want out of it.
Is it the future for you? Do you want to host podcasts in the future? Is that the goal for you?
Well, I want to get into radio presenting. That's something I've been doing for a few years, so that's my end goal, yeah. Oh,
interesting. How can people listen, and how can people, if they want to find your podcast and they want to have a listen, how can they do that?
So you can head over to the website, unboxedpodcast.org. It's also available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and various other podcast platforms.
And you continue to keep it going, you continue to keep making more episodes and hopefully helping at least one person. That's all that matters, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I've never thought, you know, I want to be the next big thing on the internet. If I can help one young person, if one young person can take something away from it, I've done my job.
I think this is truly incredible. That was Finley Ratnett chatting to our very own Darcy Kelly, who presents the show before me 2 till 6, talking about his mental health podcast. It's called Unboxed. He's only 17 years old and he's doing this. I think this is incredible. And as he said in that interview, you can find out more details online. Search Unboxed. Because it is so true. Sometimes if you don't have the right people to speak to, or you haven't got the right circle around you, or maybe there isn't anyone to talk to, listening to a podcast, it's free a lot of the time and you can just access that information.